Chapter 13 Last Names. A week later, Sammy was staring out the window of his grandma and grandpa's house. His mother had dropped him off to spend the weekend with his grandparents. Sammy had never been to his grandparents' house before, at least that he could remember. The houses in this neighborhood were right next to each other, and there weren't any side yards. It was considered a gated senior community. "How are you doing today, Sammy?" asked Grandma. She was sitting in a rocking chair, crocheting a pot holder. I don't know," said Sammy with a slow shrug. His shoulders dropped quickly. "Is something the matter?" asked Grandma. Sammy gave a soft sigh. "I just wish that I was with both my mom and dad at the same time again, like before. I felt that exact same way when I was your age," said Grandma with a sigh. "I wished I was with my parents. In fact, I even wished I knew them as well." "What?" asked Sammy, surprised. He quickly turned around from the window to look at his grandmother. "What was it you said, Grandma?" "When I was your age, I lost my parents too, but I was even younger than you were," said Grandma. "You were?" asked Sammy, curiously, as he quickly sat still on the couch and faced his grandmother. "What do you mean you lost your parents way younger than me? You look way older than me." "When I was a little kid, I mean, somewhere at your age, Sammy," said Grandma. "I never remembered my parents. For a long time, I ended up living in an orphanage." "What's an orphanage?" asked Sammy. "It's a place where kids are raised after they've lost their parents." "Really?" asked Sammy, his eyes wide. "That's sad." "Yes," said Grandma, nodding. "Does that mean if I lost Dad, me and Lucy have to live at an orphanage?" Grandma gave a small chuckle. "Of course not," said Grandma. "Your mother loves you and Lucy way too much to ever do that. But even if something happened to your mom, your grandpa and I would be happy to take care of both of you." "Well then, why didn't your grandma and grandpa take care of you when you lost your mom and dad?" "My grandparents died way before I was even born." "You're not gonna die, are you?" asked Sammy nervously. "At least not for a while, I hope," said Grandma with a little smile. "But don't worry. For now, your mom has a decent job that can support you and your sister, remember?" "Yeah." Sammy's forehead wrinkled. "That's why she's been so busy with work lately, because she needs money to take care of you and your sister." "Oh," said Sammy. "I thought she was just too busy to have any fun with me and Lucy." "Sammy," said Grandma with a sigh, "I'm sure she wants to have fun with you and Lucy, but it's just not easy for her when she has to take care of both of you by herself." "It hasn't been easy for me either, when I don't have anyone else to play with," said Sammy. "What do you mean?" asked Grandma. "You have Lucy. Don't you play with her?" "Well, yeah," said Sammy. "But I mean, I don't play with any friends my age, or even with Dad." "Oh, I see what you mean now," said Grandma. "But don't you still have friends who want to play with you?" "Well, yeah," said Sammy. "But I just didn't feel like playing with them after losing Dad." "Oh, Sammy," said Grandma with a disappointed sigh. "I know it's sad to lose your dad. I'm sad too. But that doesn't mean you have to be angry at your friends and not play with them. They just wanted to help you feel better. I wish that I had friends who cheered me up when I was feeling let down." "You didn't have any friends?" asked Sammy, feeling surprised. "Well," said Grandma, "I still had a chance to make some friends, but it just wasn't easy at first." Sammy looked at her curiously. Why wasn't it? Well, said Grandma, I had a hard time making friends with anybody because some of the other kids were trying to isolate me. Isolate you? Asked Sammy, confused. Uh-huh, said Grandma, nodding her head. What does that mean? Asked Sammy. It means they wanted me to be alone and away from everybody else. Why? Asked Sammy. You're a nice person. Well, said Grandma, I certainly was, but some of the kids weren't used to me being new. Grandma's wrinkled cheeks slipped into a sad little smile. Why wouldn't anyone want to be friends with someone like you? Asked Sammy. It sounds like me when I was trying to be friends with Spike Scarecrow. Who's Spike Scarecrow? Asked Grandma. He's the boy I tried to be friends with, but he was mean to me. He was even meaner to me at school, and I got into a big fight with him. Oh, Sammy, you just don't get it, said Grandma. It's okay to get angry, but it's not okay to get in a fight with someone just because they were mean to you. I just couldn't stand it, said Sammy. He wouldn't leave me alone. Why didn't you just ignore him? Asked Grandma. I tried to, but he stuffed snow in my coat, and it was cold. I really couldn't take it anymore, so that's when it all slipped out. Here's the thing, Sammy, said Grandma. I wasn't always kind either when I was a kid. What? Asked Sammy with a shrug. But you're Grandma kind. No, said Grandma quickly. That's not what I meant. Huh? Asked Sammy, feeling confused. Grandma gave a little chuckle. I'm talking about the last name. What about it? Asked Sammy. That's what makes us kind, doesn't it? Not quite, said Grandma. What do you mean, not quite? Asked Sammy. Well, you see, said Grandma, being kind doesn't necessarily mean your last name should be kind. Don't you have any friends who are kind to you? Yeah, said Sammy. Are their last names kind? Asked Grandma. Uh, no, said Sammy. Then this might surprise you, said Grandma. My last name wasn't kind either. Why not? Asked Sammy. You're kind. Grandma gave another chuckle. Sammy, said Grandma, being kind isn't always a last name. It's a word that describes someone being nice, no matter what their name is. Anyway, my name wasn't kind. I had a maiden name. A maiden name? Asked Sammy. What's a maiden name? Lots of women change their last names to their husbands' names after they get married, Grandma explained. I'm confused, said Sammy, lowering his brow. Let me put it this way, said Grandma. Your mom's last name wasn't kind before she married your dad. It was a different name. What was it? Asked Sammy. It was Lorrington. Was your last name the same as hers? Oh, no, said Grandma, shaking her head. My last name before I married Grandpa was Patterson. Oh, said Sammy, still trying to understand. When boys grow up and get married, do they change their maiden names too? Grandma just laughed. Boys don't have maiden names, said Grandma with a smile. Only girls do. But why? Asked Sammy. Maiden is only for girls, she explained. Oh, said Sammy. But what happens to Mom's last name after losing Dad? Does that mean Mom won't be kind anymore? And me and Lucy won't be kind anymore either? Sammy, said Grandma with a sigh, that's up to your mother. If she feels like she needs to change back to her maiden name, she can do that. But, said Sammy, with his lips quivering, I like my last name being Kind. I don't want to be Sammy Lorrington. I want to be Sammy Kind. He stood up from the couch and frantically ran across the room and down the hall towards the bathroom. I know you'd want to stick with the Kind name from your dad, called Grandma, but remember what I said? You can still be kind, no matter what your last name is. Can I just go to the bathroom? Asked Sammy, his eyes starting to water. Of course you can, said Grandma kindly. Sammy closed the bathroom door behind him. He sat down on the closed toilet and put his hands on his face. His cries were muffled.